1, 2, 3. Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah.
Hi there, this is Dandelion Song with Records of the Grand Historian. I'm just back with a tidbit about Sargon. Sargon was the hand-picked king of Inanna Ishtar, according to this, who was picked to try to bring peace to the warring factions of the Anunnaki. And he was part god, part human. And I think that this is worth mentioning. He is the first mention anywhere of all the ancient documents of being divinely anointed. Now, I did in my series about the Christ child in Paris, we talked. I went through a Wikipedia section about Anointed and Messiah, and of course they didn't mention anything about these ancient tablets, which are very important to mention. So we have to go find this ourselves and try to add it. But I think it's really worth noting that Sargon was the first mention of being a Messiah, divinely anointed, and he was a deliverer of the people at the time because he was a balancer of the political tensions. He was their hope of peace. You know, Marduk was fighting. Marduk-Ra was fighting. He wanted to take control from Enlil, and Inanna Ishtar found what she thought was a solution for peace by finding a neutral ruler, Sargon. So finding a neutral ruler, Sargon, was in effect delivering everyone, including the humans, to an era of peace, because it was meant to be a remedy to the wars that were happening. So anyway, here it says that he is the divinely anointed priest of Anu. Messiah literally means anointed. Marduk, in his pronouncements, warned of the upcoming upheavals and cosmic phenomenon in these days, which is a really long time ago, 4000 BCE or something like that. The day shall be turned into darkness. The flow of river waters shall be disarrayed. The land shall be laid to waste, and the people shall be made to perish. And if you read this book, it really sounds like these nuclear wars. They fought nuclear wars, and this is why they have a desert over there right now, because you saw the picture in one of the last short videos that I put up of the rocket silo where there's date palms, and there was, these gods wouldn't come and with their rocket ships and go and live in a desert. They would go and live in the best place. They turned it to a desert with nuclear war. So these apocalyptic writings are about those times, and I think that some of the feeling that we have about apocalyptic writings now are about the return of these people. And the people who are in control of our world right now, they understand that these people are very long-lived. Only a year goes by for them every 3,600 years for us, and that they will be coming back. And that's why we see such devotion. And, we are being told to have a religion of, the dominant religions here on earth. Meanwhile, the people who know are staying true to what would be called the old religion of the fallen Nephilim, and they would be staying true to that out of a realistic political alliance. These guys brought nuclear war the last time they were here. These guys are not kidding. So I would say the Illuminati, or Team Dark that we call them among our planet, they might be looking at this situation realistically, saying, you know what, we need to follow the rules of Inanna Ishtar and Marduk-Ra and be loyal to our gods if we expect protection from them when they return. Now, I know that the New Agers are saying that the Anunnaki have come to the light, and now they are not going to, kill and disrespect humans anymore. And some of the Anunnaki are fallen, and some of them are not fallen. We have to keep that in mind. Some of them are Nephilim, and some of them are trying to fix the problem here. So it's a very complicated puzzle. But I think that's what the Illuminati are doing with their pictograms, is they are trying to stay loyal to the old gods out of a rational fear. Fear of God is not pretend. These guys devastated large swaths of land, killed all the humans, without considering any of the human safety. They did, it seems like from reading this, they did try to set good kings in order. However, when it came down to it, they really didn't care about the humans. And so it would make sense that people who have kept the records and who are reading true information, they would be quaking in their boots at the return of Marduk Ra and Inanna. If indeed they have ever left the earth, they might still be here. I've also been aware of the re-arrival of Marduk Ra may have been, the cover story for that may have been the funeral of Nelson Mandela, when all of the rulers of the earth went to Nelson Mandela's funeral to pay respects to Marduk Ra. And Nelson Mandela's funeral it had weird timing, things were wrong about that, and really what they went for was to pay their respects to Marduk Ra. And the reason why was because Marduk Ra is very dangerous. Okay, so I'm just kind of putting all these pieces together, and so wanted to bring that to you. Messiah, anointed, Sargon was a man, and he was a god, and he was the first. He was handpicked by Ishtar Inanna to rule. He was an anointed priest of Anu, and he was the first mention of Messiah in these ancient texts. So it could be that, I'm not going to speculate on what it could be, but I'm just going to bring this to you and see, we just need to digest these facts and as we move on, as we keep finding more things. All right, thanks for listening. Might want to buy this book. Tell me what you think. Anybody who has read all the other books, I'd like to especially hear what your digestion of these facts are. And I know that as I've read a lot of these books, and I know, this is interesting, this is on page 32, because that's the 2332. And in this year, when Inanna picks this, because I have found in my gematria decoding that in this year when Inanna picks this Sargon, let me go back, this year, 23/6, I have found a lot of 11 sixes and 23 sixes, and I thought they were upside down. But then I see this date, and it is symbolic of the picking of a king. So it's possible that they are expecting Inanna to come back and pick a king. And this would be the new Messiah, right? If she picked a king, it could just be the same as a replay of Sargon, who was the first Messiah, the first anointed one. And we would have a new Messiah, right? We are still most likely in the land of the Nephilim. All right. If you've read these books, I think I wanted to mention, if you've read all the Zecharia Sitchin books, I feel like I have noticed him contradict himself from book to book, and that also just makes these Christmas tree lights even harder to unravel. But let me know what you think. All right.
That's the sound of sunshine.